Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Downtime with Downstar, episode 175. And today we're here with my guy RC from RC's Garage. RC, what's up, bro?
What's up, man?
I just broke my little ring.
Yep.
What is it called? The thing that says action.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. I'm not sure what the correct.
I don't know what it's called either. But if you guys can
exactly.
see on camera, this thing, I smashed it too hard and just fell apart. But you're right. If I would have just, it would have probably made the same exact noise.
If you would just did it like a normal person.
I'm trying to show off, though.
Yeah,
that's why, dude. It's like you're a different type of human than me, dog. You're like more evolution wise, dude. Like, watch, look at our wrists together. You're a different human, bro. So I'm trying to show off. I'm trying to get on your level.
A little baby wrist.
Yeah, dude.
It's all right.
RC, what's up, brother?
Chilling.
Dude, so we haven't had you on the podcast for about 170 episodes.
I know, right? That's crazy. Feels like forever ago, too.
It does,
it's
huh?
Crazy.
Yeah, it does, dude. That was about, 2018, probably September. Or it was for when you came for the meet in October. Yeah, the 2018 Downstar meet in October.
Yeah, you can't. I could never even tell you. I have no idea when that would have been.
Yeah, and that episode was extremely unproductive because we were just trying to figure out how to get donuts.
Yep. Yep. Still getting feet wet in that thing, trying to figure it out. That shit is funny.
But I'm glad to have you here, man. So,
expect the same kind of conversation right now.
So, RC's Garage, man, you've really made a difference here in the Honda community in the last 10 years.
A little bit,
dude.
Some people like to think that.
I think so, man. I remember we were just going over a list of your old builds. I remember seeing your first white EG with the orange valve cover at IBOC 2009.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
2009, dude. That was 11 years ago, bro.
Yeah, and that's when I first had I had the ram horn manifold on it.
Yeah.
So, and that was when it was just super basic, and right after we just built it in the backyard. So,
Yeah.
I just got that, picked that car up for like a fun car to drive from somebody local. I traded 2 other cars that I had for it, and it just snowballed into what it was. I mean, I was just trying to build a nice street car, you know what I mean? It just, a lot of people liked it, so.
Yeah. So when that car came out, I remember it was on like social media and stuff. Well, social media meaning like the forums and stuff before the meet. Where did you get your inspiration to build a car like that? Because when you came out, it was really surprising to see something of that like high quality for somebody that is really new to the community.
Yeah, at the time, I don't really remember exactly where I was finding different stuff or like different inspiration for the car, except for the fact that I had other friends that had turbo cars, and eventually when I ended up doing the up pipes on it, that did come from my buddy Raul, because he at the time had an EG with up pipes, and it was like a pretty new thing for like the race cars, street cars or whatever, and there wasn't any street cars running up pipes, and so I just liked the look of it. I didn't really care, and I never ran a hood on that car. Like, nobody ever saw me with a hood on, and I just like the look of the engine bay. Like, I drive my car like looking in my engine bay and just love seeing flames coming out of the up pipes and stuff, you know what I mean? So I just really dug how that was. So I started doing that, and people were just always like, thought it was crazy that I was driving around with no hood and up pipes on my car, and it was just fun, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but when I first built that car just in the backyard, just like when the tuck radiator came around, that was like when it just first like people started doing it, and I think I saw Derek from All In Fab. I don't remember where I saw him exactly. Maybe Forum NWP or something. I don't remember which one it was nowadays. But I just happened to be up in the Oregon area, and I hit him up or whatever, and I met him, and I wanted to get a radiator for my car, and I planned to do the top mount setup and everything. So I wanted to try that out because it was new, you know what I mean? So I ended up ordering one from him, and I don't remember which IBOC it was exactly, which order that actually came out with that radiator, but me and Mikey, Phase 2 Mikey, came out with tucked radiators at the same time. roughly, and it was just, I don't know, man. All that time was crazy with that car and like all the different stuff I was doing with it. So it was just cool to build it in my backyard, do all the body work in the engine bay in my backyard, paint the engine bay in my backyard, and then eventually the car got painted in a booth. You know what I mean? And orange has been my favorite color. Like people have heard me talk about my '68 Charger repeatedly, and that car was orange. And then my first CRX after that was orange, and like orange is just my favorite color. So, and white also, white's my favorite color on the car, and then
Yeah.
orange is like the favorite like accent color. You know what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't think I could ever own an orange car. I love orange, but to me, it's just it would be too much for me to own an orange car, even though I had a '68 Charger and a CRX. Like I've already done that.
Yeah.
Nowadays, white's my thing, and orange as accessory colors like what I
Yeah,
like.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Hell yeah.
but it just always looked good, man. For me, for my eyes, looking at the engine bay, orange on a white car, it's just like just grabs the attention of the eyes and just like wants you to look for more. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah, so that was the first time that I kind of recognized the skill that you had was when you brought that car down, and then it just seemed like every year, every other year, you were coming out with a build. And before we get on to those other builds, uh, you're from Arizona,
yeah.
from Phoenix. So how were you tapped into the Honda community? Were you on NWP Honda Tech, or was it more of an Arizona thing?
Yeah, it was azht.net. That was like our main stomping ground for anybody in the Hondas in Arizona. Like AZHT was it. Like if you're in the
Got you.
Hondas, you're on AZHT. Like no matter who you were. So, and that was just our main thing. So, and then a lot of people would go on Honda Tech or NWP, but
Yeah.
I wasn't much on Honda Tech or NWP unless Honda Tech mainly was if I was looking for like write ups on how to do stuff because at the time I had my CRX and I was like, I'd want to put like a 2000 SI cluster in my CRX or something, and there'd be a write up on there saying how to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So stuff like that, and like just a lot of the stuff I learned was just from looking at Honda Tech or not so much Google at the time, but
Yeah.
now more nowadays you could just get on Google and find anything you want. So, but yeah,
So AZHT, what even got you into Hondas? You know, you say you come from the Charger. Like, what made you switch
uh,
over to Hondas?
just way back in the day, man, just being young, I rode in this dude's car. He had a CRX, and I used to just hang out at the bowling alley when I was younger before I could even drive. So, he had a CRX, and they were going out one night and just driving around and just doing stupid shit. And he actually rear-ended his buddy. I don't remember what kind of car his buddy had now, but this dude had a white CRX. It was a HF, and when we got in an accident, when we were rearing his buddy, like my knee smashed through like the dash, little vent though.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it was like, and then after that, I was like, I just loved the car that night because we're just like flying around in it, and it was like light
Oh
and quick, and I was just like, stoked about the car. So after that, my older brother's buddy, Tommy, he had a little '88 HF CRX with like a built B20 VTEC from a shop called Import Powerhouse out in Phoenix, and they've been around forever, man. They've been building like their reputation is really good in Phoenix. They've been around forever. So at the time they built his B20 VTEC, and it went to like 10,000 RPM or something.
whoa.
I think it was even it was probably about 10,000 RPM. Just it wrapped out crazy high, and he took me for riding the CRX when it had that motor in it, and I don't remember what kind of power it made now, but I just remember the thing being insane at the time, and I wanted that car, and he ended up keeping that B20 VTEC, putting in another little red hatchback like a 91 SI or something, and he put a B16 in that CRX, and I ended up buying that CRX from him for like $4,500.
Got you.
That was like my first entry into Hondas. So
But you come from the lowrider muscle car
yeah,
hot rod era.
yeah, my dad's always been building or working on classic cars or muscle cars or any of that stuff. Like the whole time growing up, I wasn't really into working on cars till I was like 14 or so. When I was getting like closer
Yeah.
to being able to drive. But like I was just always into sports, and when my dad's working on cars in the backyard, I wasn't really there so much. Like trying to learn anything. maybe trying to do more damage to the cars than anything. Like he's
Yeah.
told stories about he was like trying to do body work on a truck or something one time, and he was like hitting it with a hammer or whatever, like trying to straighten out the metal a little bit, and then like the next day or so, like me and my brother were out there hitting the whole thing with a hammer, just like repeatedly, like trying to do what he was doing. You know what I mean? So
Oh shit.
pretty funny. So yeah, I was more into sports when I was little, so I just didn't get much into doing anything cars till I got older. You know what I mean? And like once I got tired of riding bikes, because I got into like racing bikes, and baseball was like my main thing. I did that for 9 years, and then I always weighed too much to play tackle football. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have certain weight classes at like certain ages, and like I always just weighed too much to play tackle football. It wasn't until like seventh grade I actually played tackle football for the first time. So,
For what, varsity or what?
yeah, varsity, right? It was like I think it was called junior bantamweight. It had like a 170-pound weight limit at the time. I used to have to lose weight every week just to play football on fucking Saturday. You know what I mean? So, damn, man, discriminating against little fat kids all over the world. So it was a struggle for sure. Yeah, man. And then so I didn't get into working on cars till later. And basically, when me and my dad built my Charger, he picked that thing up for like, he was working out here in California, Riverside area. And like one of the guys that he worked with had the Charger, and it was his boy's, and like his boy didn't want anything to do with it. Like he just had no interest in building it or whatever. So he sold it to my dad for $400.
Yeah.
So that's a fucking come up. You ain't gonna find a '68 Charger for $400
$400
anywhere, and it was running with
God.
318 all
What the
original.
fuck?
So yeah, shit, crazy, bro. You can't find that
You
shit,
get more at the junkyard, dude.
bro. You ain't gonna find a '68 Charger for $400 anywhere. So
Wow.
that's just out of the question. It's fucking, and now it's gone. Like
Yeah.
when me and my dad built that thing, basically there's like a company called Paddock, and like they have a bunch of like aftermarket stuff you can buy for it to like restore muscle cars and stuff. So basically we just like split the cost of everything for the car to rebuild it, which at the time it only cost us like $4,000 to rebuild the whole thing. New vinyl top, all new moldings, all new stuff for the interior, like the paint, the material, all that stuff. Like at the time it only cost us $4,000.
Yeah.
Cash money to fucking do everything we did on this. And then the labor, so I had like put new trunks in it, because that's like the normal thing on Chargers, the behind the glass, and then the trunk, it rust out. So
because it leaks right there, right?
Yeah, replaced those panels and stuff, and then basically I feel like I learned like to buy the new stuff just from my dad leading by example when we're building my Charger. You know what I mean?
Got
So
you.
he was showing me just to buy the new stuff instead of like trying to buy the used stuff and the reconditioning and stuff. It's just hard to find stuff for that. So when I did Hondas, when I started being able to actually go to the dealer and being able to afford buying moldings and all that stuff, that's just what I did. I went to instead of like, trying to find stuff in the junkyard, I just went to the dealer and find out how much it would cost to get all the moldings, 15 to two grand or whatever. And
Yeah.
I'd be like, all right, cool. For what it looks like and how long it lasts, that seems like a decent deal. And so that's what I started doing. So
yeah, that's always been the dope way to do it, man. If you could do it like that, we were even talking about the Ultima yesterday, Ashley's Ultima, and that's the idea I have for it. I'm just like, dude, if we paint this car, do brand new moldings and everything, brand new tires, suspension, and wheels, like this car's gonna look brand new, and that's my mentality coming from like the Honda community is like you can make anything look good, so that's kind of
just really
that's a dope way to put it, a spin on the build, not just like to rebuild old parts or go to junkyards, or around here we have like the Pomona Fairplex, like the super show kind of thing. Go there and look for parts.
Yeah, and since I was little, I've been going to that Pomona Super Show.
Oh, really?
With my dad, I've been at that car show so many times, freezing my ass off early in the morning, bro.
5 in the morning.
Yeah, like when they do like December, October, whenever it is, it's just fucking so cold, bro. Like I've been there thinking, oh man, I'm coming from Arizona, it's hot, and then you get there and it's just like you think you're gonna be good in the cold, and then it's real fucking cold early in the morning there. So. But yeah, same thing, man. Light on the head, going through everybody's shit early in the morning, man. It's like the best feeling when you're in the cars and you do that kind of shit. And your dad does that kind of shit too. Like, You know, it's a good feeling to go do that.
Yeah, that I can definitely relate to that because that's when I first got started with the my Chevelle. I had the Camaro before that, but the Chevelle was the one that I really started doing work on.
Chevelle, right?
Chevelle, yeah, it's a Chevelle, not a
Not a
Nova,
Nova.
not a Nova.
It's weird.
But guys, if you Google Chevelle and Nova, they pretty much look like the same car. I was in denial for so long until everybody calls it a Nova, and I say it's a Chevelle, but it looks pretty much the same.
Yep.
Anyways, yeah, we would go to.
It was funny that last night that argument about that. You're like, what'd you say? And I was just like, same thing. And you just, oh, I just called it a Nova.
Yeah.
You're like a Chevelle. I was like, same thing. And then you Googled it. And it was like, same thing.
It didn't say that. I just said it because I looked. The reason I don't like the Nova is because it's like way taller, dude, and it has like the stupid bar in the middle of the window, you know. But yeah, just going to the Pomona to the swap meet was so tight, dude. But like you were saying about buying the parts brand new, right around the block from here is National Parts Depot.
Okay.
Yeah, like literally 2-minute drive from here. So with the Chevelle, I could just go there and pick up whatever parts that I need for it. You know, carpet dash, fucking seats, whatever, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it makes it easier for those cars. You know, I feel like the carpet kits for the Hondas they're not.
I've never tried one before.
Oh, well, the carpet kits that come for like the older cars, they usually fit pretty good. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And then like anything for the Honda, it's just whack.
Yeah. I feel like that's a huge opportunity in the future for a company to come out, such as like MPD or Summit or something like that, you know?
It's just more of like, you know, how many pieces they got to get made versus how many people actually want to buy the shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's also still a large amount of people out there that are okay with just having used reconditioned stuff, which there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? But there's just not more people that want to buy new stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm cool with reconditioning stuff. When it comes to my own car, I don't give a shit. I'll recondition new stuff all day and make it look good. So
Yeah.
you know, it doesn't bother me.
I feel you. So after the white EG with the turbo EG with the orange valve cover, then you came out with another build, the 4-door EG, sort of a grayer color K series. You had the turbo kit on that one as well, but this one you decided to go with a JDL kit, correct?
Yeah.
So how did you link up with JDL for this build?
Well, I've just known Jesse for a long time, and he actually did. He wasn't the one that did the ram horn on the hatchback. This dude Garcia did the ram horn, and then when it came time for the top mount with the precision turbo and the V band setup and everything, Jesse did that, and that was kind of like, I didn't know where Jesse went. It was kind of like a weird time or whatever, and he ended up selling his company and moving out to, what's that place called? I don't remember what it's called right now, but he moved out way further from where I was at, and Fountain Hills. That's where he went. He moved out to Fountain Hills, and he was out in like a 4,000 square foot shop out there, and I just hadn't known where he went. Like, we just lost connection for a little bit, but he ended up building my top mount and everything for that. And then when it came time to do the K-Series stuff, I wanted to do the K-Series stuff. So the original manifold on that 4-door was just the regular side mount T3 44 gate standard K-Series side mount. And then he was like, yo, I want to try the wastegate priority manifold. I got an idea for it. And then he ended up building that, and that's when we did that with like that chrome coating and everything. And it looked super sick. So I think it got featured with the regular T3 manifold, and it was kind of crusty looking. But and then later on, we were always switching turbo manifolds, or turbo kits. Like I had a couple different turbo kits on my hatchback, and then the 4-door had a couple different turbo kits. So they just started out as wanting to be simple builds, and then they ended up turning into being something a little crazier. So my buddy David Haynes, he's one of my best friends. We started building that car, and he had gotten sick, and he couldn't build it anymore. And so I continued to build it, and then I ended up finishing it, and that's how it got to where it got. So
Got you. Now, before we get any further with the white EG, did you get featured or any publication with that?
The YDG
Yes.
hatchback, yeah, that got into Honda tuning. Um, when I first took that to Ibach, I have a picture somewhere where I first met Rodriguez. Like I didn't even know he was the chief editor
Yeah,
at
yeah,
Honda
yeah.
Tuning or anything. I just thought he was just somebody there. You know, I didn't really know anybody at the time. So when I rolled up, he just asked me for my paperwork to show that I paid for my entry
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. And later on, like after that, he found me on NWP, I think. Yeah, it was NWP, and he asked me if I wanted to get featured for Honda
Mm.
Tuning or whatever. And so that's how that whole thing went about, you know what I mean? So that was pretty tight feeling. And so that's how, you know.
So with that one, you got featured, and then what kind of recognition did you see with the 4-door?
Um, the four door, it was just the recognition with that was like just more with like a lot of the four door community because not a lot of people build four doors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I saw a lot of recognition from people that are in the four doors, and I was never really in the four doors. My friend just like, you know, um, he got the car and he wanted to build it, and I've never been a fan of four doors. My first hatchback, my EG, I was never a fan of EGs like hatchbacks.
Mm.
I just don't fit in them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm 6'2", 300 pounds. Like I don't fit in them very well. So I was just never really a fan of them. And I don't know how those are the first two cars that I built that ended up on the cover.
Yeah.
And it just happens to be like some of my least favorite chassis, you know what I mean? And just for the fact I don't fit in my head basically hits the roof, and it's not comfortable for me to have to roll out the car every single time. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. It was a good time though. It was a cool car. Like we definitely did a lot of cool stuff on it, and I've always focused on engine bay and the turbo kits being the nicest part. So
Yeah.
it was a good time while we had it.
So you had the 4-door and started taking it to a bunch of shows, Week Fest, IBOC, and things like that. Did you start noticing that people were pointing out the details that you were doing to it, or were surprised with the things that you were doing to the build?
Yeah, and Joey Lee was actually one of the people that like the most would like, because he, you know, he'd do his coverage, and then he would like be the person that would like the most point out like the details in the builds that I was
Gotcha.
doing. You know what I mean? And I feel like that would like gain traction for people like to actually take more notice to the car, because he was taking a lot of notice to the cars. So, and like that dude's always, since like day one, pretty much like he's always been taking pictures of the cars I build, man, and like it's just been great because his
Yeah.
photos are great, and I appreciate him. So he's just a good dude, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, man. I do remember that early on that there was a lot of your cars on the Chronicles, a lot of the detailed pictures of them, and like the unique things that you did to it that maybe a lot of people just wouldn't notice just from passing by. But I totally remember that when the orange, or when I always say the orange car, when the white car with the orange valve cover came out, and then the 4-door came out, then it was like, yo, this guy's really making moves. And that's kind of where our friendship started getting, was around when, I mean, we knew each other when you had the EG, but it was more about the 4-door around then.
Yeah, you remember when I hit you, or I don't remember how we first started talking, but you remember the small conversations we were having about bolts, and when I was like getting bolts for my EG?
Not really.
Mm.
Why, were you being mean or what?
No, I wasn't being mean, but I don't remember, because if you look at my EG and like the features, I didn't have, you know, Downstar.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have it on the car yet, because that's when we started becoming homies, and like I think you asked me like where I got my washers, and I was like, I just got them from Ace Hardware or whatever.
Yeah.
And fucking it was just like small talk like that, and then you're like, well, I don't remember what it was. I think I offered to try to help you get bolts, like bulk bolts, and then you're just like, no, I'm good, I got it. And I was like, all right, cool, man. And then I just for that car, that's the only way I knew. And then when did the 4-door, that's when I started getting hardware from you, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? So we like established a friendship from that EG, and like talking small talk about the bolts. I'm pretty sure you'd ask me about my washers, because I just had the ones that would have fucked up the paint because
Yeah, the version 1s, that's what we have right now.
yeah, and that's when I originally got those, I just got those from Mason. I think that's how our conversation started or whatever. And then and then the four door I was on board. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, so with the 4-door, we did a lot of Downstar on that one, and then come your next build, we had a lot more on that one as well. Was the Jake Blackman, the EM1, the Sport Front, right?
yeah,
Sport Front wheel drive build.
yeah. And that's when that car, you know, that during that time, a lot of cars were like barely starting to hit eights and like, you know, getting going in that. And Jake had just barely hit a high eight at the time.
Uh huh.
And he wanted to rebuild his car because my shop was right next to his, and I had built my AG and then the four door, and he saw that, and he wanted his car to look real good. You know what I mean? So we started with that, and it ended up getting featured. It got shot in Vegas when we went out to a race for that, and then it just, you know, life happens, and at some point in time, the car got put on the back burner after it
Gotcha.
got built. You know, for like, you know, getting rebuilt, making it look all one color. Before
Yeah.
it had like carbon front end and stuff, and it was like the paint was kind of like dated, and you know, it was clean EM1, super clean still. Like it was a clean race car, but he just wanted it like freshened up and look nice. And he had gotten the Exo Speed wide front end,
Mm-hmm.
like it's like the extended one or whatever. And we had to mold the pieces into the front bumper and stuff, and he just wanted a show looking race car.
Yeah.
So we did your bolts on everything pretty much on that. So, you know, the car looked real good.
Yeah.
When it came out, it's just that was probably that was I think the only car that I didn't have on the cover was Jake Blackman's, and then when I did the rebuild on Michael Blank's hatchback,
Mm-hmm.
then I don't think that one. Yeah, that one wasn't on cover. It was like a small picture at the top.
Got you. Got you.
So
Okay, so you did the work on Jake's car. What was it like making that transition from going from building cars for yourself to taking on clients now?
well, for me, it was like, you know, most of the people that I did these cars for were pretty, I was like pretty close to them, you know what I mean? And I was just having fun doing it. And being in Arizona and doing this small Arizona car shows, it was like the same shit, different day. And going to California, it was fun, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I wanted my friends to experience what I was experiencing also. And I would just build people cars for super like good deals, you know what I mean? And like just to help
Yeah.
be a part of it and like have them come out and be doing the same stuff I was doing, you know what I mean? Because I love the shit. Like that time period went so fast to me, man. Like it was just to me going to car shows was just a good time, you know what I mean? Hanging out with the friends and like meeting different people was just a good time. And like
Yeah.
if people wanted to build something, you know, I was down to do it and help them do it, you know, and give them good deals on all their parts and, you know, do a lot of the work or whatever, do all the work. So, you know, it was just a good time. And traveling out of town all the time, it just, you know, there's just so many car shows every month or whatever, and like trying to hit them all and just enjoying it and going to
Yeah.
these different cities and stuff, bro. It just became a blur. Like the time just went by so fast, you know. So it was crazy.
Yeah, it seems like you got a taste of that with Jake's car, and then when you went to the Mugen 24 karat, the DC2, the red one with all the gold accents, that seems like when you ramped it up a lot.
Yeah, Jake's car actually before I even got into show car stuff, like Jake's car, I used to travel with Jake's race car, helping him at races. We used to always go to races, and you know, so before the show stuff was even a thought, I used to go with Jake Blackman to races. We used to drive out to like Vegas or, you know, Sacramento. Was it Sacktown? Probably Sacramento for races and stuff. So, and then I got into show cars, and then that's when I was going to shows, and then Jake saw me doing that, and then he wanted me to build his car, and then that's when I did that, and then after that I did that the 24K, the Integra.
Which was kind of a big deal in the Honda community when that car came out. You know, we were pretty familiar with dipping parts, and there was some cars that had some gold accents. But it seems like when this Integra came out with all the gold accents that you did on it, that this was kind of like stepping it up a little bit. You know, putting the bar a little higher.
Yeah, and when I started building that car, you know, I wasn't the first to do it or anything. There's other people that did it, and I just when it came to doing the whole build, I wanted gold to mix with the red and black like all evenly throughout the whole car. I just didn't want like a couple of 24K pieces like here and there.
Yeah.
I wanted it all to be incorporated with the whole build so it looked right throughout the whole thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
that's how that really like came about, and all the pieces being that were gold, how they end up being gold, you know what I mean? Because I wanted the whole car to have like the even amount throughout the whole
Definitely.
thing. So
So when you get these clients, is it basically like they're just telling you an idea what they have, and then you just make that reality come to life, or how do you like it to work?
just more of like a collab. Like they usually ask me, they usually want my opinion on
Mm-hmm.
what I would think would look best or whatever, and then they would show me parts, and then I would just tell them based on my opinion if I like the parts or not, and here's why. You know what I mean? And then I'd always give them what I would think would look best. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So that's kind of just just collabing basically together on what we think would be the best.
Yeah. So with the Integra build, how much of that was your idea, how you wanted the layout and the scheme and everything to look?
Uh, it's really going back trying to remember, the whole build on it,
Yeah.
but it was already the car was already purchased red.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it already had a Mugen kit. So it was already like a Mugen theme was already the idea.
Gotcha.
And I introduced the idea of gold into it, and then like just laid out what I would think would look good. And then just from there, I'd be like, oh yeah, maybe we could get this gold dipped, or maybe we could get this gold dipped. And, it'd be like, how about this brake kit? Can we get this brake kit to work? I'd be like, probably we can. And then he purchased that Mugen big brake kit, and we got it, and it didn't quite work, and we had to get custom rotors made for it, and then to get the whole setup to work, and just basically collabing on the whole thing.
Got you.
Trying to
Okay.
fucking get the best of what we can on the car and what we think is going to look the best.
So with this build, did you notice a lot more recognition with this one?
Yeah, that one got a lot of recognition for sure, just because we took that my bad.
You're right.
We took that to Weekfest up there in San Fran, and
Yeah.
we went with So Sick, did like a little video with me and the homie Marin, and then my homie Damien, who passed away last year. Um, that shit just sorry, Damien is fucking cool ass dude.
That's all good, bro.
We took that out there, and he just that car just did good out there. I don't remember what it won at the time, but
Yeah.
it did good. So
Yeah, I remember that car at a bunch of shows when it was coming out. That it was really popular, man. And when that car was being built, finished build, going to shows, it was hard to even see a coverage of any sort of event without seeing that car pop up. It was something that was really different, and that I feel that really showed the skills that you had.
yeah,
You know.
so yeah, I just try to keep that car as clean as possible, man. Everywhere that I went, like I wanted, whenever people were taking pictures of it, I wanted to make sure like every angle that they were taking pictures, there was no bad angles.
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
So, and the gold just looked so good with the red, and
Yeah.
just how I chopped everything up. Like I never wanted anything to be like, like a black bracket with a black washer, than like a, whatever colored bolt I used
Yeah.
with it. Like it always had to be like black, gold, silver, or like red, black, gold. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like the colors, they couldn't ever overlap on each other and be the same color. Like it always had to be broke up. So, in my opinion, that makes people's eyes like keep looking at different areas of the bay, because it always gives them like something different to look at in detail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and even when it comes down to like all the plumbing and everything on the car and how I route it, like I'll route it like a couple different times before I come to like a final like decision on how I want it to route it, with like how they sit on top of each other, and like the direction they go, and
Yeah.
like what visually in my eyes looks the best. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so it's worked. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it keeps people looking at the bay, and keeps people coming back looking at the bays that I do. So
Well, that brings me to the next build, and this, in my eyes, would be probably the most impactful build that you have done to this date, which would be the RCG EM1, the blue EM1 that you did for Mike SI.
Yeah, they both did pretty good. So they just when we built Jay's car, like it wasn't like sure when certain stuff was done, like when the paint was done. I wasn't involved when the paint was getting done originally on the body. Like
Okay.
Terry was doing that separately with the guy that originally owned the car, and there was supposed to be carpet originally in that build. So after the car was already painted, it was like made a decision to paint the floor and stuff. So different stuff was done in like certain sections on that car. Well, when we did Mike's car, we wanted to make sure everything was done all at once, so it wasn't like an afterthought. Because in my head, it bothers me that it seems like an afterthought when I'm building a car and like something's decided to be done after the fact that like paint's already done. You know what I mean? And then you decide to paint another section.
Yeah.
So on Mike's car, from the decision, like from the beginning, paint the whole interior. So from the start, that whole thing was like, you know, decided to body work different holes in the inside that we weren't going to use and make it as clean as possible, and that we weren't going to run any panels in it. So just from the beginning of that build, we knew it was going to get, the whole interior was going to get painted. So that's just how we approached the whole thing from the start. So
yeah, and you can definitely tell, man, it looks like every inch of that car has been touched.
Yeah, definitely every inch was touched on that car. Like it's just, that thing was a lot of work, man. And like that thing was just came out pretty nice. So
coming off of all the other 4 builds that you did, when you started doing Mike's SI, did you feel like this was something that you had to
what's up with these chairs, bro?
Dude, they switch however you want it to
They're
go,
not
bro.
fat
You're
guy
not
friendly though. I go try to adjust myself, and this chair like breaks out this way, and this thing slides out that way, bro. Thanks, man.
Did you leave my fucking chair alone, all right, bro?
My bad.
Did you feel like you had to compete with yourself to build a better car than all the other cars that you build?
Sorry.
With Mike SI's car.
Wasn't paying attention right there. I'm thinking about my homie Damien still.
It's all good, bro.
And he was just my dog, and like, you know, it's just hard to think about cars and not think about him. So
yeah,
it's just crazy to me, man. People have a lot of mental problems or whatever. Not saying that he had mental problems. I have no idea why whatever happened and why he's no longer here. But you know, people having shops, you know, a lot of stress in life, not sure how to handle shit sometimes. So it's just rough, man, because there's a lot of people like him that own shops that, you know, it's a struggle. So
everybody, we're going to take a quick break for our sponsors, and we'll be back in 1 minute. We all know that there's tons of places you can buy your car parts at, but when you really need help, who's in your corner? When you need parts for your Honda, you need to visit HeelToeAuto.com. Since 2002, Heel Toe has built a reputation for service and support. Let me repeat that, guys. Since 2002. It's 2020 right now. That's a long time of experience, man. These social media slingers and copycat web stores can't match Heel Toe's professionalism. Heel Toe even offers a complete OEM store for all your genuine parts needs. Whether it's for show, race, or just a badass daily, remember that HeelToeAuto.com is in your corner. And guys, if you're on Instagram, make sure you check them out at Heel Toe Automotive. Please go to their page right now, add them, and comment that you heard them on Downtime with Downstar podcast. Next up is Downstar. Downstar is the premium leader in dress-up hardware and engine bay accessories. We have all the nuts and bolts for all your screwing and nutting needs. From engine kits, transmission kits, mount kits, clutch lines, brake kits, t-shirts, skateboards, hats, lighters. Damn, we got it all. We actually have too much, guys. So if you can, please come over and buy some stuff at downstaring.com or check us out at Instagram at Downstar. Make sure you give us a follow. Now, back to the show. I think the biggest thing with that is talking about it, you know?
for sure.
You know, I've felt that with myself, you know, the stress and the pressures. And earlier in my career, it was more of me hiding it, not talking to anybody, and just dealing with it. But then that manifests into other things. your personality when you're around people, how you act, how short your temper is, and things like that. And all of that comes from, you're dealing with stuff inside where you're not trying to put that burden on anybody else, but like it can do damage to you not talking about
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
so like everybody listening right now, if you have anything that you're going through, you need to find somebody, even if it's somebody that you don't know, somebody that just from online, someone that you could talk to and just vent with. I was talking to a buddy the other day, and he was talking about, like, how it's kind of like how it's being a bitch to talk about your feelings. Like, that's how we were raised, as men. That's how we were raised. You don't talk about your feelings. Man up, man up. But like, that shit doesn't do good for anybody, dude.
Yeah, definitely not. It definitely eats you up inside more, if anything, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
also, if you feel like if you try to say anything, people will be like, yo, especially if you have a kid or something, they'll be like, well, what about your kid? But when you feel those type of feelings, it's not necessarily what you're thinking about, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because they eat at you every single day. But, it does help to talk to people about that kind of shit, and I've told people in the past, if you need anybody to talk to, come talk to me.
Yeah.
Because I seem like an asshole, but at the same time, I really care about people, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it would suck to lose another friend struggling to something like that, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, definitely, man. And it's always good to talk to people, and it's always a great feeling when somebody feels like they're comfortable enough to talk to you about certain things. That's a huge responsibility. So if somebody ever does come to you to talk about things, try to just not put more pressures on them. Try to take away things, like when, of course, he's thinking, yeah, I have kids.
Yeah,
I have kids. I have fucking bills. I'm going bankrupt. Whatever the fuck is going on, I know that, and I'm trying to figure this out. I'm trying to handle this, and that's why it's always good sometimes to talk to people who aren't that close to your circle, who aren't that close to like your family or anything. Someone, and then even like a therapist too. Real talk, like the way that I used to think about a therapist versus the way that I think about it now is so different, dude. Like, I really want to sign up to see a therapist once a month, and that's just to talk about anything that's going on. I feel that your mind is a muscle, just like any of the rest of the parts of your body, and you have to talk about things. And it's not just like hard life and death situations. It could just be like, you know what? I had this problem. I had, somebody that looked at me a certain way, and it made me feel like I wanted to attack them. What tools can you give me to not look at that situation that
Yeah.
way, to be able to just dial yourself in, just like an EQ, bro. You're tweaking every small thing about you. But when you say, I'm seeing a therapist, what do people think? There's such a bad stigma in it.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that you're crazy and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
need help, but it's not like that.
Yeah, no, I think it's normal for people like to have, crazy thoughts or whatever, but people can think really anything. Like, I try to like be as open-minded as possible to like how other people think, and try to understand. It's like, just, it's really a lot to try to understand, but it's not me. They don't understand how I think, you know what I mean? So it's hard for them to, believe that I'm trying to understand how they're thinking, you know what I mean? So
Yeah. And I think one of the big things that we just do need in this day and age is just compassion.
yeah.
Throughout, across the board, compassion. Even for like homeless people and people on the corner. I used to think of them like, you know what? I'm not going to give you money. You're just going to go spend it on drugs or whatever. But how I think about it now is, if I can make this person's day better, I'm going to try to make the day better. And whether it's if they buy food, if they buy a beer, or whatever they fucking do with the money,
Yeah.
at least this person is not hurting how they're hurting right now.
Yeah.
And some could say that you're contributing to their negative lifestyle or what have you, but it's like, I can't judge them. I don't know what they've gone through. I don't know what struggles they've been through.
Well, unless you're this dude from Phoenix that's been trying to bury his son for like who knows how many years now. It's fucking crazy. But this dude in Phoenix has been spotted everywhere. He's been trying to bury his son for like,
That's his sign?
yeah, like 7 years or something. That's the sign. Yeah, he needs money to bury his son, and it's the same dude. And like, people like try to run him out of there, bro, but he keeps popping up trying to bury his son for 7 years, bro. It's like, what the hell are you doing, bro? Get out of here.
Damn.
But who knows?
I feel you
Who
on
knows what's in his mind? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like who know? Like if it could to him, it could still be yesterday. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like who knows what kind of like things he's struggling with in his head? So
Yeah, because the first thing that comes to my mind is that, oh, he's just trying to scam it. But yeah, I never even thought about that. Maybe he just thinks some Groundhog Day shit that it just happened.
It was a big tragedy for him. You know what I mean? And just
Never got past it.
just, yeah, exactly. So. And he maybe just doesn't understand. Maybe he does. You know, I don't know. I've never had a conversation with that guy or know where he lives. But as far as I knew, he like drove a nicer car or whatever. But who knows? You know what I mean? You don't know what people are thinking. So it's crazy.
And even with that stuff, dude, how I feel is like they'll get theirs. You know, it everything evens out how it should someday.
Yeah.
You know, so all you can do is just wish for the best for people. But you know, knowing that they have the open line of communication with you is huge, because there's a lot of people, especially in our industry, in the automotive industry, guys aren't willing to like talk about their feelings and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that people are going through that it's just hard for them. But if they talk to somebody, especially if somebody's gone through that situation before, they can just be like, well, this is what I did. I don't know, maybe that will work out for you. And it's just the same exact way of, yo, my engine is blowing this code. What do I do? It's the same kind of shit, you know, but you're like trying to fix what's inside of you. And people just cover that up and think that everything's going to be good. But it's like, dude, don't change your oil. See what happens.
Yeah, right.
You know?
I mean, I don't. My shit just keeps burning it. Just keep adding it. Bro.
It just comes out slow.
Hey, but my CRV is bad. Like, that's probably like, I'm so glad.
You keep talking about this CRV.
I don't really know if I want to talk about it because I don't want people to go start buying these fucking things. They're the best, bro. CRVs are the fucking best. Especially if you like going off-road and camping and stuff. All-wheel drive ones, bro, they take you anywhere. My shit will go same places my brother's Bronco will go.
And has the table in it or what?
It has table in it. We just used it camping this past weekend, bro. We went gold panning and we pulled that shit out, had a little barbecue. Fucking works out perfect, man.
Good shit.
I love that thing. I paid $500 from this dude in fucking, where was that at? Austin, Texas. Man, we left at like 9:30 on Saturday night, and I told dude, yo, I'll be there in the morning. And I was like, don't sell it. Like, I'll be there in the morning. Don't sell it to anybody. And then fucking, I said, as soon as the sun starts coming up, I'll give you a text or whatever. And he's like, all right, cool. And then so in the morning, as soon as the sun came up, I shot him text. I was like, this is where I'm at in Texas. I'm on my way. And then what time did we get there?
Like 12:30 or 1.
Yeah. So get there. All I brought with me was, I was either taking this thing home or it was, you know, staying there. So I didn't have any other plan. We took my TSX up there, and I just brought a wire to try to jump the starter. And like, cause he was like, oh, I think there's a wiring problem or whatever. Because he said he tried to start it and it would just like turn slow and then it wouldn't start or whatever.
Gotcha.
And then so he's like, I tried putting new battery, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like put new ignition in it and shit. And like, he was like stuck on the idea of it being something electrical. And I was like, all right, cool. So, well, then I should just be able to stick a wire and jump the starter. Did that, just turned slow exactly like he said. I was like, all right, Mike, jump in this thing. Mike jumps in it. We push start it. Starts right up.
Oh, shit. What did he say? Fuck.
He was like, how did you do that? And I was like, we just push started it. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, you never push started a car before? Like, I was mind blown at the fact because I thought this dude was like my age. I'm pretty sure he's about my age. And he just never even heard of the fact of push starting a manual car
Really?
to jump it. And I was just like,
He never even tried to jump the car?
the starter was like seizing, you know what I mean?
So the starter was the issue.
So when I push started, it was just like it was able to get the motor to turn and it fired up or whatever. So I drove it around the block. Seemed good enough to me. Paid the dude. He gave me some of the extra parts that he bought for it. And then Mike hopped in the TSX and we just drove right back to Phoenix.
Do you know when you told me about that, I thought you just got all-wheel drive stuff. And I'm like, oh, damn, that's a hella good deal. And you're like, oh, I got the whole car. What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm down. Yep.
What a deal, dude.
Yep.
Hell yeah, bro. So, I want to get back into Mike SI's car.
All right.
So what I was saying with all of these builds that you did, when you started working on Mike SI's car, what was your mentality like? What was your goal like? What did you want this car to represent?
I don't know, just be better than the last one I built. I don't know. I was always just trying to do better than the last car that I built. You know what I mean? And Mike had good ideas. I had good ideas, and we just collabed on it, and it just became what it became. You know what I mean?
Got
So
you.
he had ideas, and just same thing. You know, I'd tell him my opinion on why that wasn't good versus why this is good. You know what I mean? And we just ended up with the final result, which is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's just that one was just planned out more from the beginning. Like we saw a vision from the beginning,
Got you.
and when we were done, it was what we visioned it to be. You know what I mean? So
Got you. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, that car was debuted at SEMA.
yeah, SEMA, that was a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my shop got broken into 30 days.
Yeah, let's
prior
talk
to
about
SEMA.
that, dude.
Yeah. All right, so sorry. That morning when I was headed, Mike aside was staying with me because we had just got Mike's car back from My Candy, and I don't remember what day exactly or whatever, but the car was just back. All of Mike's parts were inside my showroom, and he was headed to my shop to go start working on his car, and I was already headed to my bank in the morning, Arizona Federal, to pay him some money towards a loan that I had.
Okay.
And I was sitting at Arizona Federal when Mike had got to my shop, and he called me, said that my shop got broken into. And I was just like, holy shit. And he was like, it doesn't look like they took anything. And then he's like, oh shit, bro, all your tools are gone. And I was like, fuck. And so by the time I get there, I told the lady, I was like, yo, I gotta go. By the time I get there, the cops are already gone from my fucking shop, bro. Like, it's like Arizona Federal's on Bell and like 59th Avenue, and my shop's on 32nd Street and fucking I-10. So for them to be gone, they weren't even there when when Mike was there. You know what I mean? They showed up right after Mike got off the phone with me, and then Ravi was there. And then Ravi had told him, yo, the tools got stolen. Doesn't look like much else that got stolen or whatever. And they like stole a couple things off like the tables or whatever.
Yeah.
Like my desk and shit. But by the time I got there, they were gone. So within like 20, 30 minutes, these cops have like, came there. Okay, tools are gone. They left. They didn't take any pictures of anything. They didn't fucking try doing fingerprints or anything. So basically what happened is they dumped out my garbage cans, loaded up my fucking tools inside the fucking garbage cans out of my toolbox, and then dragged my fucking tools out the fucking door. Like you could see the drag marks from the toolbox all the way out the fucking door. Like I had shiny epoxy floor or whatever, so you could see the fucking drag marks. And they stole my tools, and then they fucking looked inside of Jay's car. Like they fucking stepped on one car and then opened the door on Jay's car on the passenger side, which I'm not going to go into too much detail about who I think did it, because I'm pretty positive, like I'm fucking 100% positive I know who did it. And fucking, because there's only certain reasons why they would do certain things, like look in the passenger side of Jay's car or take the helmet that was in my showroom that was theirs, specifically their helmet. You know what I mean? Like stepped on Jose's Mugen fucking CRX bumper to grab a fucking helmet. Like I wouldn't need to step on the fucking Mugen bumper to grab a helmet that's right here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People try to accuse me of fucking breaking into my own shop and stealing my own fucking tools, bro. And that shit bothers me.
Really?
You know what I mean? Yeah, like to me, like it doesn't ever make sense to me, because that's what I need to operate every day. And like my homie Ravi, he was managing my shop at the time, and fucking he had to loan me fucking hand tools to try to get Mike's car done for fucking SEMA. I was like so stressed out 30 days before, and like for people to sit there and think that I fucking broken in my own shop, you know what I mean? Like it's mind blowing to me, because I need my fucking tools. Like this is my livelihood to fucking live. You know what I mean? Like I need that shit. And a lot of the tools that are stolen were also like tools that were like hand me down from my dad. You know what I mean? So it's just hard in general, bro. And then fucking to hear like friends, like old friends that were like, you think were friends, saying that to people, you know what I mean? And it's just like, why would you even say that? Like, to me, it's mind blowing. You know what I mean? And just like, it bothered me a lot. And like, my homie Mike right here, I had no tools for a long time after my fucking shop, bro. After that shit happened, I didn't have anything. And like, I basically lived in the back of my fucking dad's garage. Like, you know, poor me, fucking didn't have no fucking money and was just like trying to get by. And fucking, I didn't have no tools till my homie fucking hooked me up with tools that he had. And fucking ever since then, bro, I've been motivated to do more work ever since then. You know what I mean? Because like, I didn't ask him to fucking give me no tools. You know what I mean? I didn't even know he had any. He didn't even use them. He didn't even need them. You know what I mean? He fucking hooked me up for him, and I've been grateful for that shit. You know what I mean? And fucking me and the homie hang out every single day. So, or pretty much every day. You know what I mean? And that shit's helped me be able to get back on track working on shit again. You know what I mean? Because I just didn't have the money to go buy tools, and like, it was just hard time for me. And I don't know, man. Like, I even sold my toolbox, like my orange toolbox. This guy, he runs a podcast called C10. It's a C10 Talk.
Okay.
And my orange toolbox I used to have, I bought that for like a birthday present for myself, you know, from Snap-on, like years prior when I had my first shop across from Low Cash. And I just ended up selling that shit for like $2,500, bro. It was on fucking Craigslist forever, and fucking he liked orange too, and he fucking had C10 that C10 Talk podcast, and fucking, you know, I like C10s too, and fucking he was a cool dude, so I just fucking let him take it for $2,500, and fucking I think he still has it in his garage. But damn, man, I missed that box. That shit was tight. So it was just tight to have that, and like, you know, part of what I was doing and growing. You know what I mean? So
it seems like when you go through tough times, that there's always a bright light at the end of it, you know, and that bright light ended up with all the accolades that you got from building Mike SI's car. I think after that car, it definitely cemented you as one of the top builders in the Honda community. You know, for all the details that went through that car, the debut at SEMA, you know, driving it across country. You guys drove all the way to Philly. You know, we did the show out there at IBOC.
Yeah.
And then you went to where TE after that. Like, that's putting in actual work, dude.
Yeah.
And that was huge. Like, that whole car was huge. I have it somewhere in one of the cases. I think it's that case right there, the magazine. And I had you sign the cover of it, Super Street, with the photo shoot you guys did downtown. I think that's the Honda issue, right?
Yeah, the Super Street
Honda issue.
Yeah.
That's huge, dude.
Yeah, that's the first time I've been to Super Street, so that's pretty tight. You know what I mean? Like, after Honda Tuning shut down, I was in the second to last issue with that, with Jay's car and Ryan's car from IBOC. And then, you know, it was the Integra, Jay's Integra and Ryan's Integra.
Mm-hmm.
And then Michael Blank's car was on top. And then after that, I'd never been to Super Street prior to that. And like, I didn't know, you know, like never even knew anybody from Super Street or whatever. And they wanted to shoot Mike's car downtown. I forget the location now, but
it's like 3rd Street Bridge or something. It's really it's the underground right there downtown, under the freeway. Yeah, it's like a famous spot right there.
Yeah, they did a Batman there. Was it?
Maybe, probably.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was. I remember the time, but I don't remember what it was now. But ended up being a pretty tight spot. Yeah, that's pretty sick. And I didn't know it was going to be on the cover. Or did I? No, I didn't. Maybe. Can't remember right now. But I know for the Honda tuning ones, I didn't know that. I wouldn't know until it came out. But being on the cover of Super Street was tight. It's just, I've never even thought prior that was going to be a possibility. And when we started building Mike SI's car, we had originally sought out to try to be on the cover of Honda Tuning, but they had canceled it. You know what I mean? And he was just like, oh, shit, and, you know, what are we going to do? And I was like, well, you know, Super Street, you know, still available. We could try to, you know, aim for that. And so that's what we did, and it worked out. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, bro. That's history right there.
It's pretty tight.
You know, we don't have any more print now.
Yeah, no, that's crazy to me, man. I love print so much. It's it's pretty tight just to be able to pick up your magazine, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, off the shelf or whatever and see what you built. So it's a good feeling. And just growing up, being able, you know, my dad having all the hot rod magazines and everything, and always getting those in the mail and seeing the cars in there. And, you know, it's just crazy that that's just gone. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really go online. At least when it was a magazine, I still read like what was in it. Online, I just scroll and look at the pictures. You know, I don't really
Yeah.
sit there and try to read anything online. So,
They do actually do really good features online now. Rodrez, he's still doing the articles.
Yeah.
And it's pretty dope because you'll actually get way more pictures than you would in the magazine. But there's something different about the physical, and it's undeniable, you know, having the physical magazine there and something that you could show years on end.
yeah, physical copy, man. I've got multiple physical copies of every one. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And like, I just like to be able to have that, open it up and look at it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's nice not to be like staring at my phone like this. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's cool just to be able to have this, show my kid, hey, this is, you know, this is what dad did. You know what I mean?
So, in the Honda community, who are some people that you look at their builds and you think they're a total piece of shit? No, I'm just kidding. Thing is, they're really good builders.
Just on the record, I don't really think anything's a total piece of shit, but I call everything a piece of shit. Like, that's just my mentality. Just like, oh, this
You
thing's
called my heavy in
remember?
the streets car a piece
Yeah,
of shit.
I was like, what are you planning to do with this piece of shit? Like, that's what I do. I call it a piece of shit. It doesn't have anything to do with how nice it is or anything. Everything's a piece of shit to me because it's probably had some kind of headache with it along the way. You know what I mean? So they're just Hondas, man. Love, hate. So,
But who are some builders that you look that you think are doing a great job in the Honda community?
they're doing a great job. Let me see. You know, I don't really keep up too much nowadays,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I mean, just overall coming up.
I mean, I only watch usually friends or whatever that are around, but Castro Style
Yeah.
and Kevin and them from my bad, I can't remember too much right now.
It's all good.
Players Club. There we go.
Got you. Yeah. Got you. Yeah, they've actually been coming out with some really cool stuff. They seem like they're very detail oriented and spend a lot of times on very small pieces that others wouldn't, and that's really cool of them for sure.
Yeah, they're local to me. You know what I mean. So like, I'm trying to pay attention a lot more to the people that are local to me. You know what I mean. And like, when I build my cars, I want to try to stay as local as possible. So
Yeah.
they're just they're local to me and they're doing a good job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure where they're at right now in the process of working on the cars, but I know Kevin was making progress on his, you know, bay. You know, he's getting stuff done. So
Very cool.
it'd
Yeah.
be tight to see if he got it done for Ibach. I'm not sure if that's what his plan is or if they're planning to do that right now. Like I said, I haven't been following along too much, and like I've been just trying to do my own thing. I'm trying to get my own projects done that
Yeah.
I got to do because I still got projects left that I got to do. But like I'm just, you know, I scroll through sometimes, but really when I'm scrolling through my phone, it's just my mind's thinking about something else, and I'm just scrolling for.
Yeah.
I'm just looking, you know. I'm not even really fucking paying attention. So
I feel you.
I'm really thinking about what I'm trying to do with the projects that I got to do at the house and like how I'm going to get done doing what I'm doing. So, you know what I'm doing.
Yeah. So we were talking yesterday, and it seems like the car show season is gonna start in September.
Yeah.
So do you got anything cooking for September?
Nope.
All right.
Am I supposed to?
No. I love it, bro. We miss you in the Honda community, man.
Thanks, man.
We got to see you back in this.
It'd be
dude.
tight to build something again. You know what I mean? I love Hondas, and there's not a lot of people like, you know, we do stuff for SEMA. Like we go to SEMA, we see who's building stuff, and it'd be tight just to be involved doing, you know, SEMA builds that represent
Yeah.
the Honda community still. You know what I mean? Because I like doing that. I like to inspire people when I build my cars. So, you know, if whatever I'm doing is inspiring people to build better, then that's what I want to be doing. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm excited for.
Hell yeah, bro.
Fucking A.
Well, Randy, we got a lot more covered in
Yeah,
this
yeah.
episode than we did 170 episodes ago.
Oh, shit. We didn't even order no donuts.
We didn't order no donuts.
All I got was this sorry ass fucking candy, bro. Can you zoom in on this at the end? This shit is horrible.
I don't know what
You guys
happened
can
to
see
it.
this.
It
You
was
tried to
my
feed me this. You ain't even got
my
no,
Kit
no good candy or nothing.
my Kit Kat decoration from Japan, but I'm pretty sure it's from like 3 years ago. So it's definitely decayed over time. But RC, I look forward to what you have in your back pocket, man.
Fucking A.
Hopefully we see something cool come out September.
Yeah, me too. Fucking
And,
hopefully. It's hot as hell in Phoenix, bro. I need to get out of that place.
Hell yeah,
you know what
bro.
I mean? So, damn. Hopefully
For
soon.
sure, brother. So before we get out of here, can you tell people where they can find you at?
Like currently or in like 3 months?
No, like your Instagram.
RCG_motorsports. So,
RCG_motorsports. Okay,
yep,
cool.
That's it.
All right, bro. We let's get out of here and let's go do some fun stuff.
Yeah, right.
But,
Feels good out here, bro. I'm trying to enjoy this.
This is California weather, man.
Feels so good.
Big shout out to our sponsor, Heel Toe Automotive. Been around since 2002, supplying you guys with your Honda parts. Make sure you guys hit them up if you need any help. They have a really interactive website where they can help you on demand right there. So make sure you guys check them out, heeltoeauto.com, or on Instagram, Heel Toe Automotive. And oh shit, before we get out of here, guys, if you guys are listening right now, we just started a cult for Downstar. So it's an actual cult. I'm changing the stigma of cults, so hopefully you're not gonna have to kill yourself at the end of this cult, and we're not gonna sleep with your wives. So if you want to join the cult, and this cult is gonna give you the exclusives on products that we're gonna come out with, links before they drop to the public, giveaways, meets, bunch of cool stuff like that. Basically, this is our own social media because everything just gets lost on Instagram. So if you guys want to join the cult, we're capping it at 1,000 contacts. We're at 420 right now. You give us a text right now. Text us 818-403-3473, and it's actually us behind the text. No bullshit. And let's connect, guys. So make sure you text us. Once again, 818-403-3473. Please check out Heel Toe Automotive and show my guy RC some support, show him some encouragement, and get him back into this Honda community, man. We need him.
Man.
It's a drought out here, bro.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Downtime with Downstar, episode 175. We out. Peace.
Fucking A.